fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Who are the people influencing you? What kinds of things are shaping you? Do you like the person you're becoming? I was once told by a very wise person, Marcy, when you're not influencing someone, be careful. They're probably influencing you. If you look at children, they're the perfect little monkeys of everything you do. All you have to do is listen to your children, and you hear your phrases repeated back to you. You need to watch your language. And it's very colorful when you do something that's idiosyncratic to yourself, such as myself, to have my 15-year-old daughter imitating me, copying me, repeating things I've said to her friends. It weighs on me, the huge impact we each have. Isn't that why we're part of Toastmasters? To learn how to use words and communicate leadership to affect change in our country, to be a good example, to influence. My influences. I was raised Catholic, therefore I was raised with a love for large families. I was one of only 4 children, and I always had this hidden desire. I always felt like one child was missing. So I resolved when I got married, I hoped I would have at least 5. Well, you know, God has a sense of humor. Because in the process of a long story, I gave birth to 6. My one little daughter said, Mom, he's icing on the cake. But God had other plans, and in the process of a remarriage, I acquired 4 extra children. So let's see. I wanted 5, God gave me 10. Yes. 10 beautiful children. I'd like to tell you a little funny story that occurred 2 years into our marriage. I've been married 4 years. You see, our water heater needed help. We used a lot of bath water. So my husband called a hot water man, and I was out shopping. I had told my kids, somebody's coming, be sure you're on your good behavior if you get here before I get back. Well, here I come breezily in through the garage carrying all these groceries and see this man in our mudroom working. Just to be nice, I said, welcome to our chaos. You know, I just walk in and having a good old time. And all of a sudden, Helena goes, Mom, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize there was a man out there. We've been bad. We've been making so much noise. We've been arguing. And I'm like, oh, Helena, how could you? I'm sorry, Mom. Shortly thereafter, my husband came home, and he was talking with this repairman. And in the process, he shared with this repairman that he had married a woman with 6 children. Yes, he brought me from St. Louis, 6 kids in a red van, our dog, etc. And this man was dumbfounded. And as I came to the kitchen, I heard him say to him, you're my hero. And he went on to work. And by the time he was finished, he said to my husband, you know, sir, I have to tell you something. I have 1 child. I've been scared to death to have another, and my wife has been begging me for a long time. I've changed my mind, sir. I've been a coward. You had 4, and you had the courage to marry a woman with 6 more? What's wrong with me? I'm going home today, and I'm telling my wife, honey, yes, we're going to have another child. Now, that was 2 years ago, and I don't know what his wife had to say about that. But I'm here to say, here we were minding our own business, just having a good old time, and the kids were acting up, but something inspired that man. I don't know what. I do remember when I walked through, he said to me later on, yeah, I thought you were like that Rene Russo. You know that movie, Yours, Mine, and Ours? It dawned on me, she's kind of that cookie woman, you know, with her little talking stick. So somehow, in spite of what we do, even if we do things less than perfectly, we're affecting other people, hopefully in good ways. So what is influencing you? And how do you know if it's a good or bad influence? I like to listen to my heart. You know, you get those good and bad feelings. Somebody says something, how does it make me shake in a good way? Does it make me tremble in a bad way? I listen to that. When I see somebody do something admirable, I say, what can I do to be part of what that person does? And somebody once told me, the reason you don't ever need to be envious or jealous of somebody else is if you admire something that person is doing, you actually acquire a part of it. It becomes part of you. In other words, you admire the purity of a child, you become more pure. You admire the intelligence of a Toastmaster. The idea is you are becoming more intelligent. So Toastmasters is an awesome avenue to increase our influence for the good. I would also say be careful who you're around. Be careful what books you read. Be careful what we watch. And especially with our children, they're sponges. Everything we see is affecting us. And depending on our response, we either take it in or we shove it back. We all have a wonderful opportunity to give a good example and to spread a good influence. It's my pleasure to speak with you tonight, and I look forward to talking next time. Mr. Toastmaster.